It started out slowly at first, a subtle sense that something was amiss. An old friend from college commented on a photo congratulating me on my new promotion at work, but I hadn't posted any updates about my job. A distant cousin messaged me to say she loved the new haircut I had shown off in my latest selfie, but I hadn't cut my hair in months. I brushed it off, assuming people were just confused. My real Instagram account had been quiet lately as I adjusted to a new job and city. I barely posted anymore, until that Tuesday when my sister texted me frantically asking about a strange photo she saw on my Instagram. It was a picture of our childhood home with the eerie caption, "So many memories were made here." I froze. I hadn't posted that. With dread, I logged into my Instagram and scrolled in disbelief. There was a fake account impersonating me, filled with photos of me I never posted. Pictures from my Facebook, old Instagram, and photo cloud were spliced in with creepy images I didn't recognize, all captioned with cryptic inside jokes and messages pretending to be me. This identity thief was interacting daily with my friends and family, deceiving them all. I reported the account and sent urgent emails to Instagram support, but the profile remained up, continuing to post more unsettling content each day. I felt sick watching old friends comment on the bizarre photos, believing it was really me. My stomach churned thinking of this impersonator worming their way into my social circles wearing my identity like a skin. I became obsessed with monitoring this fake account that had hijacked my online life. The tone of posts shifted from feigning friendliness to taunting and provoking me. Unflattering photos appeared with distorted captions alluding to dark secrets from my past that no stranger could know. It felt like someone close to me was trying to sabotage my life. Panicked, I warned my girlfriend and close friends, urging them to block the account. But I couldn't bring myself to tell my family yet. This sinister impersonation had already sunk its claws in deep. I felt powerless to stop its spread. Late one night, as I scoured the creepy account's followers list looking for clues, I froze. The fake profile only followed one other account, an old friend named Caleb. Instantly, the pieces clicked into place. Caleb had become bitterly jealous when I landed a job at the prestigious company he was obsessed with getting into. We had a bad falling out when I finally got fed up with his unhinged fixation. This must be his twisted retaliation. I sent Caleb a message confronting him as the person behind the fake account. A chilling Instagram notification appeared on my phone. The impersonator had just tagged me in a threatening post. "You'll regret this." Caleb was openly provoking me now. I barely slept that night, fixated on how to stop this targeted harassment. Caleb knew too many personal details about me from our years of friendship. Going fully public to expose him felt terrifying but also risky. But allowing this fake account to continue deceiving people felt unthinkable. In the morning, hands shaking, I drafted a post explaining the situation on my real Instagram account. I described the impersonation and included screenshots documenting the account's false claims about me. I pointed out Caleb's long-standing resentment and his recent threat. As I moved my finger to post the reveal publicly, doubts flooded my mind. Caleb had a vindictive side. There was no telling how he might react if backed into a corner. But exposing the truth felt like my only way to regain control. I tapped share and held my breath. Within minutes, sympathetic comments came pouring in. Friends apologized for being tricked and reported the account. My sister called me, offering to help in any way she could. I nearly cried with relief. It felt like the tide was finally turning. The fake profile immediately unleashed a barrage of increasingly unhinged hostile posts about me, but the tone had shifted. Instead of mystery, its vitriol was on full display. For the first time, others could clearly see the bitterness behind the facade. Caleb had lost his power. The curtain was lifted, and all his deceit laid bare. After a few days of manic posting, the creepy account went dormant. He knew he was beaten. His access to my life was cut off for good. Nearly a month later, the impersonation account was finally removed by Instagram. Though the wound still aches sometimes, I emerged stronger, with closer bonds to those I trust. I found courage I never knew I had. The darkness that nearly consumed me was conquered by shedding light on the truth. I was used to getting random messages and friend requests on Instagram. It's just part of having a public profile. But this one message caught my eye. It was from an account with no photos or followers, with the creepy username, "Watching You." The message itself seemed harmless enough. "Hi there. I really like your photos. You take beautiful pictures." I didn't think much of it at first. Just a friendly compliment from a stranger on the internet. I responded with a quick thank you and went about my day, not giving it a second thought. Over the next few weeks, I noticed watching you would like and comment on all my new posts within minutes of me sharing them. The comments were always friendly, but they were coming in hard and fast now, almost like clockwork. Love this outfit on you. What a fun adventure, thanks for sharing. Looking back, I guess I should have seen the signs that this person was paying too close attention, but I chalked it up to just having a dedicated new fan and appreciated the kind words. Then the direct messages started up again. Saw you got coffee at the cafe down the street this morning. Looks like a nice spot. My stomach dropped. How could this person know where I had been earlier today? I never share locations. All my posts are just photos without any tags or context. I ignored the message, hoping they would take a hint and leave me alone. But the messages kept coming, each one referencing places I had been or small details about things I did in my day-to-day life. That Thai place on 3rd is so good, isn't it? Their pad Thai is my favorite. The farmer's market on Sunday is the best. I saw you picking out apples there last weekend. I was thoroughly creeped out. Whoever this was clearly knew far more about my personal activities and hangouts than any online follower should. Had they been physically following me, watching my every move in real life? The username watching you suddenly felt chillingly appropriate. I decided to take action. I blocked the account and made my profile private, hoping that would be the end of this unsettling situation. For a few days, all seemed quiet. I started to relax, thinking I had asserted control. Then I got a notification. Watching you had started following me from a new account. The invasive messages resumed, referencing mundane details of my days that no one else could possibly know. I was terrified but tried not to let it show in my offline life. I refused to respond to the messages, reported the accounts as spam, and amped up security at my apartment. But this person kept watching me, kept invading the most intimate details of my daily activities. The messages gradually became darker over the next few weeks. Ominous warnings like, "I saw you sleeping last night. You look so peaceful in bed." Vivid descriptions of places and activities where I had been completely alone. The parking garage, the pharmacy, even my bedroom late at night. Disturbing threats detailing violent things they wanted to do to me if I didn't respond. I went to the police with dozens of screenshots, pleading for help, but they said there wasn't much they could do without more evidence of an actual crime. I felt exposed, unprotected, haunted by an unseen menace that seemed to be stalking my every move, both online and in the real world. This person clearly knew where I lived, where I worked, my daily routine, the layout of my apartment. They had access to my most private moments and spaces, and I had no idea who they were or what they ultimately wanted from me. But it was evident this was escalating, and I worried it was only a matter of time before these digital threats shifted into physical reality. I'm now constantly looking over my shoulder when I'm out, jumpy and anxious no matter where I go. I've stopped posting on Instagram entirely, locked down all my social media accounts, and cut back on sharing personal updates with friends. But I still can't shake the feeling of unseen eyes tracking me, an undying sinister presence monitoring my every step. My world is narrowed down to just the space immediately around me as I keep heading out into the city each day. I'm constantly wondering when this lurking terror will finally reveal themselves. I worry each notification on my phone is a new threat. Each passing stranger could be a pair of watchful stalker eyes. I don't know how long I can live like this, fearing that the nightmare on my screen will follow me out into the real world. For now, all I can do is try to remain as anonymous and unseen as possible to my unseen watcher until help arrives. It all started when I discovered Jess, an up-and-coming Instagram influencer. Her page was a curated grid of moody, artistic photos depicting Jess in fashionable outfits against dark, gritty backdrops. The captions were cryptic and poetic, hinting at a troubled past and philosophical outlook. I was intrigued by the aesthetic she crafted around mystery and darkness. In a sea of flashy influencers, she stood out as authentic and creative. I followed and eagerly awaited her new posts. Soon after, Jess messaged me, thanking me earnestly for the follow. We chatted casually about common interests like photography, poetry, and fashion. She came across as sweet and down-to-earth, asking thoughtful questions about my life. I opened up about my creative pursuits and struggles. Jess responded with empathy and encouragement. She even remembered tiny details I had mentioned, like my favorite cafe and art supplies. I was flattered that someone with thousands of followers seemed so invested in me. Over weeks, our conversations went deeper. Jess revealed her philosophies on rejecting social conformity, living one's truth, and seeking transcendental experiences beyond mundane reality. When she invited me to an exclusive gathering with her closest kindred spirits, I was intensely curious. We met after dark at a nondescript building on the decrepit edge of town. Inside, it appeared an ordinary meetup of artists and creatives, but something about the atmosphere felt off in a way I couldn't pinpoint. As the night progressed, the conversation took a disturbing turn. The group spoke of cleansing one's essence and shedding the confines of the self. Jess talked intensely about initiating me into their embryo so I could become enlightened and transformed. Her followers hung raptly on every word, swaying in unison to an eerie chant. I realized to my horror this was some kind of cult recruitment. I tried to subtly make my way to the exit, but found the doors mysteriously locked. Jess grasped my arm firmly, with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. She told me all was well. This was simply part of my journey to becoming my true self. Her intense stare filled me with dread. I knew I had to escape. When Jess finally turned away, I bolted frantically down a dim hallway, praying for an exit. My palms were slick with cold sweat. To my immense relief, I found a back door that opened to the outside. I ran faster than I ever have towards my car and locked myself inside, my heart ready to beat out of my chest. I sped home, gripped by terror that Jess would track me down. I immediately blocked her and made my account private. For days, I noticed strange cars parked outside my building at odd hours. I worried Jess had sent her cult members to monitor me and bring me back under her influence. I knew I had to speak out about the recruitment tactics Jess used on social media to ensnare followers into her cult. From a new anonymous account, I posted warnings about her with details of my experience. Jess responded with ominous messages sent from burner accounts, but I refused to be silenced by her intimidation. This chilling encounter shed light on the darkness that can lurk behind Instagram fame and carefully curated images. Jess leveraged her social media influence to lure in vulnerable people like myself, only to manipulate us for her cult's gain. I am grateful I escaped her sinister grasp in time. My life is forever changed by staring into the uncanny void that night. Now I feel compelled to share my story as a cautionary tale. There are others under Jess's spell who must find the courage to break free. By revealing her true entity, perhaps her shadowy powers can be diminished. A lesson to all that we cannot believe everything portrayed on Instagram. Stay vigilant, friends.